Hey guys, and welcome to Garage Time with David. It's been a while since I've posted to this channel, but I've got a couple video ideas that I'll be uploading in the next couple weeks. Today I'm going to be making this end-grain inlay test using some pine. I was inspired by the Wood channel on YouTube. You should check out his stuff. He makes really awesome inlaid end-grain cutting boards. Unfortunately, I didn't start filming until I was about a third of the way through this project, but basically, I took some 2x4s, ripped them down to about 1-inch squares, and then assembled them in an end-grain butcher block. I had to make two blanks, one of which was about 1 inch tall, and the other one was about a 1/2 inch tall. I didn't really expect the end result to look great because it's just pine on pine. There's not much contrast between the inlay and the main body. My goal was mostly just to figure out my toolpath settings. While making this test piece, I definitely figured out that I needed to make some tweaks. So, for example, I used the downcut bit to face the top of this part, which left it with like a horribly rough surface since the bit wasn't really cutting but just tearing and ripping the top of the end grain. I figure I'll use an upcut bit to help keep that a cleaner surface in the future. Alright, so let's see how I put this together. So unfortunately I didn't film the female section, so we'll just start with the male section. Here I'm using a 1/8 inch 2-flute downcut bit. I think it would be better to use an upcut bit here as well for chip clearing. I ended up getting a lot of compacted sawdust at the bottom of this surface, so I think I'll try an upcut bit in the future. I noticed that my workpiece started shifting on me, so I had to pause the program and added a couple clamps to it. I was then able to restart the program from the top, and I just let it run all the way through. After roughing out the pocket with the 1/8 inch bit, I swapped to a tapered ball nose bit. This bit has a very sharp angle of about 10.4 degrees inclusive and a 0.5mm diameter ball nose at the tip. This will allow it to get into very sharp corners without leaving a large gap between the inlay and the main body. So it first runs a contour around all the edges, then it goes back and pockets out the rest of the remaining wood with a rest machining strategy. I needed to get rid of the excess wood on the sides. It would be better to use a bandsaw for this, but I don't have one, so I decided to use my table saw instead. I had to get some sawdust and fuzzies out of the engraved cuts of the main body before trying to do a test fit. Now that looks pretty good, so now I can glue up the inlay. It's important to get glue on all the wall surfaces to make sure it will hold. Then I can make sure the inlay is seated well by giving it some love taps with my mallet. After the glue dries, I need to face the part again to reveal the inlay. Again, I had a toolpath problem here where it was facing 1 millimeter above the actual surface of the body, but I'll ended up just sanding that off. I had to really go at it with my belt sander to make the male inlay flush with the main body, but after a while it ended up looking okay. So there you have it. That's how I made this inlaid edge grain piece. In a future video, I'll do this again with walnut and hard maple with some updated tool paths. This is the first time I've tried to make something like this, and it's definitely a learning process. I'm thinking about making another video describing how I set up my tool paths for this inlay process, which ended up being a bit more complicated than I initially thought they would be. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in watching that walkthrough. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.